Hi, it's Lynn and Mr. Fix-It with Softsquares. Today we're going to be showing you how to assemble the project that was in the A box for day 3 for the Advent box for 2024 that came from our store, which is softsquares.com. And Mr. Fix-It's here because he's the technical guy who is going to show us all how to put it together. But first I'm going to show you how I made my block. Now, those of you who have the kit will know what I'm talking about. There are instructions inside, so just follow along with this, or at least you'll know what you're talking about, or what we are talking about when you get to it. But just know we are selling these kits, so they're on the website. What are they called? I can't remember what we named them. You just listed it.
Quilt Block Clock Kit.
There we go.
And if you can say that without having to stop, I'd be impressed.
So they're on sale on the website, so you can get a kit even if you didn't get the Advent box. For those of you who had the Advents, this is it. So basically, it gives you...
What if somebody got the Advent and wants another Quilt Block Clock kit for another room in the house?
Yes, you can buy another one.
What if they want one as a gift for their friend?
They can buy as many as they want.
Okay.
We'll make as many as we need. All right, I had shoulder surgery, if any of you are wondering what this is all about. I also dressed myself. Which
she's not supposed to do, but she's stubborn.
I didn't do a very good job, so it's a big ordeal to get dressed, so I'm staying in my backward shirt.
It's backward shirt day, and I tried to wear mine backwards, but she wouldn't let me.
Nope, and stand up straight so they can see read what's on your shirt. You guys can
says I'm with a quilter and it's pointing that way.
And you can get one of these shirts at my at softsquares.com under Make Me Laugh. Just so you know, we have.
Is it Make Me Laugh? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's under Make Me Laugh.
Under Make Me Laugh.
I don't know why she said it was under a different category.
All right, so we're going to show you how to make the clock. Those of you who got the Advent box, this is what it looks like. It was day 3 of the A box, and if you order it online, you won't be getting it in wrapping, but. Will you open this for me?
I'll open it for you.
And if you need scissors, you can use the yellow handle ones.
I could just tear it like that.
Yes, you can. All right, Mr. Fix-It, what's in the bag?
A box.
Will you show us?
See, it's a box.
Will you show us what it is?
It's a pizza box.
It's a pizza box?
And the reason we got a pizza box is because it's the right size.
We're making something that's square.
And because there was some conversation over the last year about pizza during our live shows, and some of us were hungry, so we got pizza boxes.
Pizza boxes. So go ahead and open this. I can honestly say the very top item might not be in the kits that you buy.
So
but everything else will be in here.
You get it.
You get a pizza.
A pizza. Okay, so here's your pizza that is actually a piece of paper. I hate to disappoint you.
Yeah.
We are not shipping whole cooked pepperoni pizzas in the fresh pizza box.
So what you're going to get inside it is instructions, which we're going to show you step by step how to do that today. You're getting a pattern for a quilt block that's just a suggestion for this. You're getting a large piece of batting. It's about 10 by 10. And I'll let you lift the box up so they can see what's in there, because the rest of it's kind of taped.
So, yeah, the rest of this is taped in place on the bottom of the box so that it won't flop around. So you have a clock mechanism, a clock hanger, hands, and the acrylic. So
you have 2 acrylics and you have 3 hands. And by the way, they're silent. They're the silent hands. But you are getting a battery with it.
So when you take it out, you'll have this little nifty package.
Oh, we're not going to make this one. We're going to make this one.
Oh.
Sorry, well, I didn't think about it. But we wanted to show you what you're going to see when you open it and all the parts and pieces. The box does not come with any fabric because you get to decide what you want to put in it as far as decorating it. Now, you can use any 9-inch block. Now, 9 inch is your finished size. So making it 9.5 and trimming down or even bigger is probably not a bad idea. I've gone ahead and I've made a 9 patch. I really like the idea of not having a seam in the middle where the clock is going to poke through, but you will be able to do that and I think you'll be fine. But this is what I've done. Got my batting on the back side, and you can see I've even done a little bit of straight edge stitching on my machine. I also made another one as a test, and this one I put a teeny tiny little binding on And this one we're going to trim down to size, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two. But these are two ways to make them, just to make the block, because I'm not one of those people who can leave things alone. Nope, 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 nope. So we're making a clock. Now I'm going to have Mr. Fix-It cut today because I am not supposed to be doing stuff like that with my arm. So I'm going to change the angle of this, so they're going to see what's going on down here.
You can see my belly.
Yep. All right, so this is how I do it. Okay, so you see these lines right here. Now this is because I'm using a 4-patch, or sorry, I keep calling it 4-patch. It's a 9-patch with 3.5-inch squares. Okay, that's what size my blocks were to start out with. So if you want to do something super simple, you can do the same. So I'm actually lining this up with the lines so that I can get my very, very center exactly where I want it to be. You see how I've done that? Now I'm going to take the plexiglass, which by the way is going to come and have a little coating on. I'm going to let you...
Yeah, the coating will just peel off. We decided to leave it on so that it would make sure it's a little protected. It does make funny sounds when you pull it off.
And this side has it too. Should we take it off this side too? That's the back?
Well, both of them have 2 sides.
Oh.
So...
maybe we'll leave the back alone to protect
peel
that.
it off. Yeah, you could choose. Now getting this started, oh, I'm down here. Getting this started, I use my nail to just get to the corner. It's not particularly easy, but it's good that your acrylic is protected. So now I just kind of scrape that off and peel the corner, or peel the piece off.
Sweet.
So now you have clean acrylic.
Oh yeah, that looks very different than how you got it.
And it reflects all the lights. Look at that. So.
All right, so now we're going to center it. I've centered mine on my board. You can eyeball it, but this is how I did it. And Mr. Fix-It's going to do the cutting today. So I'm actually using my markings on the board to determine where the edges should be, because I want to keep my block straight. I could really get this skewed really easy if I wasn't careful. So Mr. Fix-It, we're going to actually, I'm going to hold it or you hold it. You're going to cut right along this, like this is your template, and it technically is.
Okay.
So here's your blade, and we have to be super careful it doesn't move.
I know how to be super careful.
Okay.
Not just careful, folks. Super careful.
By the way, Mr. Fix-It's been cutting fabric on for your orders. So look at him go.
And again, cutting right along the edge, making sure we got through it all, and then carefully rotating. Wouldn't it be nifty if you had a rotating cutting mat for this project? I'm just saying.
This project's too big for the rotating cutting mat that came in the A box or the B box.
Well, that's okay. I'm just saying.
But we have these on our site. But this is my favorite cutting surface. I just use it all the time.
Okay. I have all 4 sides trimmed now.
Okay, so leave the acrylic on there. So what I want to do now is take a pen. Or do you want, would a Sharpie work?
Sharpie would work.
Is it best? I'll let you do that. So the holes are drilled in the center. Be careful not to get marking on your plexi, because that would be a problem.
Yep, just a little dot there, so that you'll know where to cut.
All right, so we're gonna also do it on this one, and we're gonna look at the difference between the two. By the way, before we even get there, this one I made the same, and I quilted it and put a little more quilting on it than the other one. Also, I don't love this as much, and you can see on the back side. And then I put binding, but I did a 2-inch piece, and I just went barely, not even a scant 1/4 of an inch. I did not do the overlapped seam. I just went ahead and folded the fabric over to do that. And then I did not double it on the back, because I want to keep this as flat as I can. I did not want the bulk of a traditional binding. That's why I didn't double it, and why I didn't have the edges closed over. So this one, I cut this one ahead of time instead of matching it to the acrylic, and I cut it a scant smaller than 9 inches. So if you put this right here, you see this is the 1x1 mark. It's a tiny bit smaller than the...
Well, we'll do it this way. You can see
acrylic. So this is a cute idea, although I don't know how you'd make it and have it be exactly straight. I am not able to do that, but that doesn't mean you guys can't figure it out. But it's intended to have a raw edge. I just thought I'd try it.
So I don't know if you can see the acrylic under, but it's, you know, an 1/8 of an inch or something like that.
We should wedge it and make a sandwich. So
Okay.
let's play with this one, and then we'll finish the right one over there. So go ahead and make ours. This is more my experiment, and if it turns out well, then I hope you guys like it. It's meant to have a raw edge, and it shouldn't matter, but because this was, to me, noticeably short, I thought I would try with a little binding and just out of curiosity see how it works.
It's different.
Cute.
The main point is you can put anything you want in here.
Yeah, but it's the edges. How to make
somebody,
it
if they wanted to, could take that pepperoni pizza picture out of their A-box,
Absolutely.
poke a hole in the middle, and have a pizza clock.
Absolutely. All right, so he's going to show us how he's going to cut it. So do you need little tiny scissors?
Yeah, little tiny scissors.
Little snippet scissors. Oh, I guess you can start your hole there.
Yeah, I'd start the hole with just a standard seam ripper. And Miss Lynne is going to get me a pair of scissors. But I just want to make a hole. Now, what we're going to be putting in the hole is this clock mechanism. And you can see there's a piece that sticks out that it's going to go over that. Let me get that up close to the camera. You can see that that's maybe between a quarter and a half, probably 3/8 of an inch in diameter.
Now remember, there's your viewfinder. So
right. So I'm trying to be in the viewfinder, but it's 3/8 of an inch or so. So it's got to be more than just a little hole, but you don't want too big of a hole, and you don't want to try and cut a round hole. So what I've seen done in the past with things like this is make a small hole with your seam ripper, and then a couple of little snips around it in the different directions.
Just barely.
Yeah, just very small.
Like 1/8 of an inch. Well, maybe it is a quarter.
No,
it's 1/8. That's about
right.
right.
1/8 to a quarter at the most.
It's super small because you don't really want the hole to get big or different.
Right. So now
do you have to poke a bigger hole in the batting?
You can see through that. Hopefully that we can see through the batting. Now, if we put this on, now it's not. We're going to put the acrylic and stuff, but this will show through.
Okay, I don't.
Just like that. Lynne doesn't particularly like that.
You know why? Because I see the marker. So one, I maybe wouldn't do a marker, or if you do on the back side.
Oh wow, the marker did come through.
Yeah.
So
well, it didn't come through. It's still showing up because you didn't cut it off.
So one thing you can do after you get the 1/8.
It's very, very small because we're going to do a frame.
I know.
You scare me.
I know I scare you. There we go. Now we have a hole with no marker.
And it's a little bigger.
A little bit bigger. And so when we build the clock, we've got the clock mechanism. The first thing that goes on the clock mechanism is this hanger. And this is so you can hang it on the wall. You put it so that it is hanging, obviously, off the back. This would be the wall when you hang it up.
And the battery?
The battery will go in here. It doesn't
matter which side direction.
It doesn't matter which of the 4 sides you put it on. Although, to be fair, putting the battery at the bottom is normal. Normal people would do that. Anyway, what you might not see here, and I'll try and show, there's just a little lip around here, and that fits right in the hole of the hanger. So it'll sit right on there, and that way it won't slide around like this because it's down there flush. And that's important. So then this is what it'll look like when you put it together.
And then we're going to put the back piece on, and we're going to leave the
acrylic
coating
on this one?
The coating on it.
Okay, so there's two pieces. The acrylic is coated on the front and back of both of your pieces, so you have to pull 4 if you're going to get them all. Or you could leave it on like Lynne is wanting to do here.
I'm saying leave it.
It's going to be hidden, so it really doesn't matter. So after, I missed one piece. After you put the hanger on, we're going to put the rubber grommet in there to give it a little bit of space and allow the acrylic to tighten up. So then the acrylic goes on.
Now I want to just make a comment before he goes any further. Obviously you're going to hang it. So this goes there. You can choose to make it square or on an angle.
Yeah.
And you can choose before you get it too tight
if
you want your clock to hang like this Or like this.
Or if you're real clever, you could hang it at like 11 o'clock so that 6 o'clock is here and 12 o'clock is here. That would
mess with my brain.
That would mess with a lot of people. But it would be fun. Just weird things, I think, sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes. Okay. So we've got the first piece of acrylic on. We put our block on.
Now, I want to point out, you probably noticed this, I'm leaving the raw edge back here because it doesn't matter on the back side, and I'm trying to minimize bulk, so
the only people that will see that are the wall people.
Yeah, anyone who takes it down.
And they're a little skinnier than I am, so I don't care. So then we put the clock in, we put our second piece of acrylic. Now in the instructions...
we have fingerprints all over that thing, but, you know, be careful, or clean it afterwards.
Yeah, you probably clean it afterwards.
Unless it's on the underside.
Well, then take it apart and clean it, and then put it back together. And when you put it back together, you get more fingerprints, so you have to take it apart again. Anyway, some people who have seen this have noted that there's no numbers to put it together with, like 12, 1, 2. But for you guys, that would be 12, 1, 2,
You
3.
can put numbers on there if you want. You can stick Roman numerals on there. You can make markings. You can leave it blank.
Yeah.
It is totally up to you. I personally like it without any numbers on it because I figure most people kind of know where things are, but it is fun to see or to have.
I don't know if you saw that, but we'll get it in a moment. So once you do that, you need to press the pieces together, the sandwich together, and get this tiny nut down in the middle. Okay, so let me pick that up a little bit. I don't know. I guess you can see the nut right here that I've put on.
There's so much reflection going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of, because it's shiny.
It's shiny.
So at this point now, I can hold this nut with my 2 fingers and then twist the clock mechanism behind to tighten it.
Is that easier?
That's easier for me. You could get a wrench, you could get a socket, you could do whatever, but for me this is pretty simple to hold it. Now if you've got arthritis or something, anyway. Now you can see in Lynne's clock that it's a little bit off here. You can use things like a seam ripper, or without poking holes, but just, you know, to kind of straighten that corner.
And unfortunately my block is not exactly
square.
Yep, and this is why what we did with cutting that out is going to give you the exact size of the plexiglass.
Right. So most people would not notice that it's off from a distance. If they did notice,
it's hanging out over here. But yeah, this is
ballyhoo for them, right?
Okay, let's finish.
Okay, so at this point,
close the rotary cutter.
Oh, yes. I left a roller cutter. Actually, a rotary cutter, not a rolling cutter. A rotary cutter unprotected. I am on timeout now, so I will come back in a few minutes to help you.
Your punishment is to finish what you're doing.
Oh, okay. So you get it squared up, you know, however you want your block to be in there, and then there are 3 hands, as there are on a lot of clocks. Some clocks have 2. But we have an hour hand, a minute hand, and a second hand. And when you put these on,
they go
this little cone is kind of graduated in size.
Actually, let's hold this up to the camera.
Okay, let's see if we can get it closer. You can't really see that, but...
Can you see up close to see the center, the graduation of the pieces in there? All right.
Anyway, the hour hand goes on first. It is, of course, the shorter one. And you would set it on and then gently press it down. I usually would strongly recommend 2 hands.
Recommend?
I would recommend 2 hands on that.
And these are delicate. They will bend.
Yeah, they'll definitely bend. Then the minute hand can go on, and it goes on in a slightly smaller hole in it, and it just sits right on top like that. And then the second hand, if you choose to use it, which you don't have to, but if you wanted to.
I think it finishes off.
It's got a little pin in the middle, and this goes right on top of the little pin, like that.
Now, I can tell you from experience, if you go to reset this clock and you're too aggressive with it, you're going to knock your hands off and have to kind of take the hands off and gently put them back on.
Like most clocks, there's a little gear here to turn it, and as you turn...
So don't do what I was talking about.
you can set it this way. Now, if you're doing the Miss Lynne way, you would use your finger to do this. And that's perfectly fine. You'll notice
but be gentle, because
the hour hand does move when you do that. But let's go through this, and you'll notice right here as I come around, there's a little bit of click between the minute and hour
so
hand.
maybe the hour minute needs to be pulled up.
So yeah, you can gently lift the minute. You can gently
because these are so delicate, and I can see that the second hand is kind of curved down.
Right. So now, after making that very gentle adjustment, they fit just fine.
Let's see how this one works. Well, the second hand's going to get.
Well,
let's make it up a little bit.
Let's put the clock in, and by clock I mean battery.
I'll hold it.
And by battery I mean one of these little fellas.
Yeah, you didn't even know I had them.
Ooh, I almost threw that away.
Do you know?
Okay. I'm going to use your seam ripper on plastic. Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Because it's not a rotary blade and it's not scissors.
Thank you for asking, but yes, you are okay.
I don't want to get in trouble when
I don't know.
this.
Do you guys does that matter to you guys if you use the seam ripper on plastic? It's not really. Oh, that's the wrong size.
You got the AAA batteries when we're trying to make a video about AA batteries.
What were the AAA used for? White? I don't remember. Oh. What did I use it for? Is this for the snow globe?
I don't know.
Snowman snow globe.
I'll be right back, folks.
Okay. Well, there's a battery at your desk.
There's a battery?
Yeah, because this clock was working.
That clock was working.
So when you took it apart, the battery for it is over there. You're going to need the AA battery that comes with it. It says Amazon on it.
So...
Oh.
Well, this one says Rev.
Your batteries will have Amazon on them.
Yeah. When she says it was on my desk, what she means is it's in the little cubby hole in the corner that she gives me to work at.
He's in the middle of the room, but I'm surrounding. He's like a donut hole. I'm work all around him.
So when we put this in, the clock should roar to life.
There we go.
And you see the second hand, we'll give it just almost a minute to get around and see if it...
Okay, so I'm seeing that we got some stuff trapped in there. That's going to drive
little piece of lint.
Crazy. Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if you can see it. There's a little piece of black lint right there. There's a dot of lint right there.
But that's okay, because in a minute we're going to take this apart and put this other one in.
Okay, in the magic of TV land now, 40 seconds has expired that Lynne edited out, and the second hand, if you noticed right there, the second hand hit the minute hand when it went around. So, to Lynne's point, and I would do this with the battery out because that second hand wants to move.
The second hand's trying to hit your fingers.
Right. So, what you do is just gently bend it up.
The bend is right here. Do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, you can...
Straighten it where the bend is.
It's a difficult thing to straighten it all the way. But anyway, she's right. We can do that. What I'm going to do is set it back here, put the power in, so that we could watch it come around again and see if that fixed the problem. So by making a slight adjustment to the angle on that, just bending it up a little bit, you can see that it does not hit the minute hand when it just went over. It was pretty subtle last time. It didn't really get stuck, but it just kind of bumped over. You can do the same with the minute and hour hands as needed to make sure it fit. If you need to remove the hands at any point, you can do so. First, because the second hand is moving, I'm going to pull the battery out. Just keeps it from trying to move when you're trying to do something. And then gently lift straight up. It popped off. You'll know, I don't know if you can see that there. I don't know. It is bent just a little here. You can work on straightening them before you put them on.
This has been our sample in our office for months, and we've been moving it around, so it has not been flat and protected like the ones in your boxes are. So hopefully they don't have a little tweak.
But honestly, some of them might have a little tweak from the factory when you get them.
Yeah.
So
but this one has been handled without.
These are fairly delicate. You can, I don't know if you can see the edge of them there, but they're fairly small. When you lift the minute and hour hands, I would do it with two hands and just gently lift and wiggle just a little bit, and they'll pop off. So you could do that if you could do a seasonal clock.
Oh my gosh, that would be cute.
Change the clock by the seasons, whatever block you want to put in. Holidays, you could have a Christmas block, Thanksgiving block, a Halloween block, a
now you've
Labor
opened
Day
up a whole
block,
can
a
of
Memorial
worms
block,
for me and everybody else.
a St. Patrick's Day block, a
Hanukkah, you can put anything.
National Candy Makers Day block, because I'm sure there's a holiday for that too.
There's a holiday coming up, and I wrote it down. Oh, National Ugly Sweater Day is December 20th.
There you go. Put an ugly sweater in there. Anyway, experiment with it. You can do what you like. You can change the blocks out. We're going to take this out and show you what the other block that Lynne made would look like with the raw edge. So again, I'm twisting the mechanism on the back and just holding my fingers here. Honestly, this mechanism, you don't want to tighten it enough to where it can't twist. You want to tighten it so it stays in place, but if you really crank down on it, there's no need to do that. And you can change the position of the hands, the whole thing, to get to 12 o'clock. You know, if you're putting 12 o'clock up here and the hands are together pointing here, you can twist or turn the thing to make it work either way. So we take it apart. Again, this acrylic, Lynne left the coating on because it's in the back. Nobody will see it except the people that are in the wall. The wall people.
The wall people.
So we've got another hole marked. We're just going to poke the seam ripper through, and that gives us enough to...
And just a tiny, tiny snap.
Get the scissors in. Okay.
Okay, now that's... Okay.
So now,
if we need to,
reminder, we've got the clock mechanism, the little rubber... actually, sorry. The rubber grommet goes on after the clock hanger, which seats in the middle there. It's got a flush
and you have
mounting.
The battery where you want it to be.
Yep.
The battery opening.
Then, so in this case, we got the battery at the bottom. If you wanted to, I mean, you could do battery at the top. There's no reason not to. I usually put it at the bottom. And some days I'm a creature of habit, so that's what we're going to do. So the hanger goes on, the grommet goes on, the bottom piece of acrylic goes on. Then we're going to put our block on.
Now this is the one we trimmed to the exact size of the acrylic. I'm kind of thinking that hole's still not big enough.
It may, you know, it's still tight, but when we push it through...
Maybe the batting you need to cut a bigger hole in the batting from the backside.
Probably.
Because that's...
Cut a little bit out of this. So, just going to cut some batting off of here to make it a little thinner. I mean, that's not much, well, the part that blew away with the fan, but still, not much that we took out. Just enough so that when we seat it over here... Did I cut this at all? So in this case, I didn't make the cuts big enough. You can see I started to put it over, and it's just a little tight. So it's kind of, there's no magic number.
Well, and there's still marker.
There's still a little marker. So...
It's better to go a little at a time and keep working at it than to take too much.
Right.
I think another thing you could do, I'm now thinking of this, is you could put like a fusible stabilizer under this, and that might keep the fraying down. I wonder if you could use fray check or some other things. This is...
Well, once you cut through it and you get the acrylic on top, and it has the nut to hide any inconsistency there.
Raw fabric has a tendency to fray.
So, push that down. Now this one still is not cut enough. I've been going little cuts, but I need just a little more to give it enough room to get over that central hub. So now we should have enough, and we do. So it will go down over that hub. It sits in there. Then the acrylic sitting on top.
See, this looks better because it's...
And then
straight, flat.
The nut to go over and sandwich the whole thing. Now, if you'll notice, the nut actually covers some of that oofy that we created in the middle. And again, it's easier for me to hold the nut with one hand and twist the clock mechanism with the other.
If you get too tight, you want the block to be exactly where you want it. It's
So,
a little skewed. I know, this is where I had to be picky because this is your final project. I think
Yeah. So that's what it would look like. You put your hands on, which the bigger hole, obviously the smaller hand with the bigger hole is the hour. It goes over the middle, and then with both hands gently push it down. You'll feel it kind of drop into place. The smaller hole, the bigger hand, is the minute, and it gently goes into place. And then the second hand, there's a little post in the middle there that it just sits on top of.
Put your battery in.
You grab your battery, and yeah, that's the right direction. Okay.
There's a lot of wiggle on the back side of that. I would tighten it a little more. That's just me, but we don't have a little tool right here. So if you do it by hand, make it a little tighter.
And there you go. There's your clock.
So this is the front, this is the back.
Pop the battery out.
You didn't really get it in. There we go. All right, so now we have our clock. This is how it is intended. You can modify it however you want. You'll have to tell me which way you liked it and how you ended up making it, because I really like the idea of the binding, but I really, really, really like the idea of the raw edge. It just looks nice and clean. But we have raw edges and little threads. And you'll
see little, like, I don't know if you can see this, there's a little thread hanging out.
Yeah, so you're going to possibly have those, though, as long as it's raw. It's a raw edge. We all know what we're in for.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I see that?
Yes.
Speaking of threads.
Yep.
So, anywho, that is our clock. Alright guys, that's it for our clock tutorial. Again, you can get the clock at softsquares.com. It also came in the Advent bee box for 2024. Thanks and have a great day.